All right, so hello everybody. Welcome to the end of 2015 and the beginning of 2016. Yes, time flies. So how many of you guys deal with marketing plans? Is this a show of hands? Time to time? Okay. So today I'm going to be discussing kind of like the three ways how we're going to do marketing plan inside Revit. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is a quick step to create marketing plan. After that, we want to create like a live key plan to locate, let's say, your unit area. And finally, we want to link in area information to schedule. So in this kind of a BIM environment, you want plan to correspond to key plan, to correspond to schedule, so kind of like they talk to each other. Okay, if you update one, they update the other. Some of the ongoing issues with marketing plans, so a lot of times, this is kind of like the list of stuff that I found throughout the years where people constantly have issues with marketing plans. One of the things is that when you do marketing plans, it's always sort of from the design development stage. They don't care about what's going on after the construction stage. The problem right now is that the client constantly changing at the last minute, and you will see marketing plan design until you got into, let's say, construction documentation. Okay, it will happen. Okay, it's becoming more and more reality. Okay, in the past, it's always going to be design development, and that's it. We're just going to stop, and then we move on to construction documentation. But right now, no way. A lot of time, what happens in marketing plan is that drawings will be done very fast. So a lot of time, we're not paying attention to the details. Okay. The other thing I always find it very annoying is that there's no way of updating design and construction document to marketing plan very quickly. So let's say if you're starting with AutoCAD, there's no way you can actually update that pretty fast. Okay, everybody experienced that, right? And you also happens, mistakes do happen a lot. Let's say, for example, you have a marketing plans, and it was done early on, and then that unit was sold. And then when you get into construction drawings, oh, the unit is slightly smaller, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, it will happen. Okay, there's no way changing it. And I always find that the next thing is that the client demand them, even though they aren't part of the scope of the work. So they say, we want your unit plan, please give it to us now. Okay, we always get that now kind of a scenario. And the other thing is that client always change the last minute. Okay, that always happens. Okay, everybody probably experienced that. So the goal for today, I'm going to educate you some of the proper modeling and construction technique. So if you do a proper modeling, you get less work, right? Everybody happy. The other thing is that I want people to kind of understand how the data linkage works, so that it's kind of automated. You don't have to do a lot. The other thing is that what you learned in the past, if you've done an AutoCAD, don't bother learning them because they're useless. The reason why I said that is because our technology keeps changing. You constantly have to update. Every time I did some session now, 2 years down the road, it's not going to be used. Okay, just be careful because a lot of when Revit keeps on releasing new updates, it's basically you kind of have to adopt as you go, and then there's always going to be a new way of doing it. So I'm referencing from Yoda. Okay, how many guys are wanting to see the new Star Wars movie? Just a show of hands. Oh. Not really. All right, we got Star Wars fans. Good. Okay. So right now I'm just going to do a demo. Okay. So let's say we want to start out with the marketing plan. So I do have a handout. What it does is that it would just go step by step how to create marketing plans. I'm going to send it out to everybody. I was supposed to print it, but the problem is the paperclip just doesn't want to show up, so I can't print anything. Okay, so when you first start a marketing plan, the first thing you want to do is that you want to use either saleable or floor plan. I typically like to use saleable. Okay, the reason why is that it's much easier. How many of you guys know what's the difference between floor plan and saleable? If you've never done Revit, what saleable does is that it has like an area boundary. So let's say I'm going to go into typical level 5. What this does is that it kind of highlights areas where you're going to have your suite. Okay, I typically like to use this because you have a reference to what unit types you're going to have inside your project. So this is kind of like the typical units, like how we do areas, and this is kind of like your plan. So today what I'm going to do is that first you duplicate this. Okay, I'm just going to go duplicate. I typically say just duplicate it. Don't care about the tagging or anything. The first thing I want to do is that you want to rename them so that they're appropriate. So I'm going to call this marketing plan level 5. Okay. And then put it somewhere that you can actually access it. So here I'm just going to put it in the drawing type. So I'm going to go 00 demo. Oops, pressing the wrong button. And then just reference one. Okay. Once you have this thing set up, right now it's right up here. So the first thing you want to do is you go to VB. In the model category, scroll all the way down until you find the walls and the columns. So under the pattern, like columns, what I want to do is that here I'm just going to change the color to black. Okay. And here I'm just going to scroll all the way down until you find solid fill. You do the same thing for the wall. Okay. And then I'm just going to do the same. And hit apply. The next thing you want to do, under annotation category, you want to turn off certain things you do not want to see. Perfect example is you don't need elevations. You don't need section. Okay. You don't really need reference plane. Scope box you don't need. The reason why I turn off some of this object is because if the client ever asks you to export this out to a consultant, all the pages are already pretty much set up. So here I'm just going to go section, scope box, reference plane, also turn off plan region. Okay. And when you hit apply, and then also grids. Turn off grids. What you should be seeing is just this kind of like cleanup plan. The next thing we want to do is that why is this all faded? It's because you kind of have to go back and change this to, sorry, the mouse is a little bit clicky today. So just go to normal.
It's detail level? Are you changing?
Nope, not changing. It's basically the display model. So if you want to do like really quick halftone, this is a good way. Okay? Halftone or normal. So what it does is that it displays all your details into halftone. Okay? The next thing we want to do is that you want to turn off all these X's and the areas. So what you do is that the next step is you go to areas, you turn this off, hit apply. Okay, under areas. Then you go to room, and you also turn off the reference or color fill. Okay, looks really nice. The next step you want to do is that you want to turn off certain objects. Let's say, for example, oh, you got area boundaries. So the first thing you want to do is that go to lines and turn them off. Turn off the lines. And you notice that there's some objects you do not want to see. You do not want to see this fire rating line. The easiest way you could do is that select the objects. Okay, you know what that is. Let's say right now it's code compliance under work set, and then followed by the family type. Okay, it's a fire alarm device and fire rating. You also want to turn this off. This is a waterproofing, so again, you just check and see what they are. Okay, those are data device. So what you do is that falls under fire. Now, if you can't find anything, make sure this is all checked on. Then you'll see extra category. So by default, it's that if you check all of this off, you see that certain category won't show up. So what you have to do is that make sure this is checked on. Okay. And then what you do is that you go to file alarm device, just check them on, off, and then the other one is data. Okay. Do data device. And hit apply. Okay, looks, yes. You can. Okay, Macy point out a good way of doing things. All right. You could also do this. Doesn't matter. Okay. I view by category. Same thing. It's a shortcut. Now you have to be careful. If let's say you have a door. This is a door tag. Okay. You do not want to shut off all the doors. Okay. If I do this, let's say for example, this is actually, it's called door tag. If I do the same thing, hide category, you notice that all the doors is going to get turned off, right? So that method will not work. So I'm going to show you how to get this to work, okay? If let's say you want to shut this off, easiest way to do it is that you create a filter. Let's go add. I'm going to call this door tags. And then it falls under door category. Okay, you will see a lot of this in your project. If you don't know what that is, it basically means that it's a fake door placed on top of it because you have a link and you want to extract the data information. Okay, it's kind of like a couple of techniques that I've used. Okay, and what you do is that you go to family type or family name. I think family name is probably the best. And then look for model tag, door model tag. So what it does is that it basically acts like a tag, but it's a door. Okay, and say okay, and I'm just going to add this door tag and then shut them off. Okay, that turns off, leaving all that stuff behind. I'm going to do the same thing, so I'm just going to hide that by category. Okay, you notice that the Windows is not turned on, so the next step is that you kind of have to turn on links. If you have links, I just want to turn them off, so here I'm just going to turn them on. If you want to make things go faster, I have this thing repeated multiple times. So if this is at level 5, I will shut off the rest because it will slow your model down. So I always have only one level. Okay. If let's say you're doing a repeating, I'll do the same thing. So I shut off the rest, only show up one link, and hit apply. Okay. So your performance will not. Okay. There you go. So that's your unit. The next thing you want to do is that you want to tag this. So the easiest way to tag this is that you can just say tag all right? You can do room tags, okay? Unfortunately, I did not put any rooms in here, okay? So what you have to do is that you have to use what's known as generic tag. I call it generic, but there is other ones. Site label is fine. It falls under site category. So what you do is that you go into here and then just hit apply, okay? You notice that some of this, yes, it will give you that question mark, question mark, question mark. So to turn that off, what I typically do is that I would just say select all of this, select all instance, visible in view, and isolate by element. So you only grab those objects. Now you tag all, and then you go into the generic model and say hit apply. Okay, so that's how you do it. Now, the other thing you want to basically change is that you want to change the scale down to a 1/4 inch or even slightly larger, like 3/16. Okay? Okay, now you have that, and then I'm just going to refresh. Okay, does this look like a marketing plan now, sort of? Yeah. Okay, the next thing you want to do is that you want to create, like, let's say, a crop for different marketing plans. So this one, I had this at unit A, and then this is unit B. So what you're going to do is that with this typical plan, all you have to do is just duplicate this dependent, okay? And what I typically call here is that I rename this and say unit A level 5, okay? Now, in 2014, there is a one called the crop, edit the crop. In the past, you don't have this option. What you can do is that you can just select that, edit the crop. Now, you could go very, very creative, okay? What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put a rectangle, okay, just do like that, and then just say enter. I'm going to do another one just called the unit B, okay, duplicate with dependent. Now, why do I use duplicate dependent rather than just duplicating? Any ideas? Well, sort of. Okay. The reason behind it is that rather than duplicating, you're basically duplicating a lot of these tags. Okay. Sometimes the tag gone missing, you don't know where that gone missing, right? Whereas if you do duplicate by dependent, you only have to do level 5, anything that's level based. So if let's say you have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, so those are basically your plan. And within those dependent, it's basically a snapshot or just a crop of that view. Okay? So here I'm just going to do the unit. No, I try not to do Skillbox. Okay, the question is that, can you do Skillbox? The answer is yes, you can. The only problem I have to tell a lot of users is that you don't want to do too many, because Skillbox is going to confuse with your overall plan, and that happens with the Avanti project where everybody just creates Skillbox for every single unit. It becomes a nightmare. I'll show you how I do it, because what you can do is that when you do the edits, okay, when you do the edit crop, you can actually transfer the boundary from this level down to the lower level.
Always you can edit crop?
Yes, yes, it's much easier, much cleaner.
How we can do?
Okay, I'm going to show you later on. I'm going to show you. It's pretty quick. So here, what you could do with the edit crop is that, okay, I want to crop this boundary. Okay, I'm just going to put it here, and then just do a generic like that. Okay. By the way, this is in 2014. If you try to do it in older version, unfortunately, it doesn't have that feature. And just hit delete. There we go. And the only thing you have to notice is that you see that there's always going to be tags. Unfortunately, when you try to like close it in, it will only hide the one that's in the crop. So what I typically do with this is that there's no other choice. You just have to hide by element, okay? Because this is only specific to this view, nothing else. Okay? So far, so good?
So for each plan, you have to copy as the dependent, your original plan, and then just crop whatever you want to see.
Exactly. Okay? Sound simple?
Yeah, it sounds
very simple, right? Okay, the next step you want to do is you want to create a view template. Okay, what this does is just create one. I'm going to call it 00 marketing plan. Okay, I'm going to leave all the settings alone. Just say okay. Now, when I copy this, let's say for example I duplicate this level 4. Let's say duplicate. The only thing you have to do now, let's say this is the botch version. Just apply that view template. Just click on that and say marketing plan. And hit apply. You will see that this thing would jump into this section. There we go. You see how fast that is? You just create one view template, copy it, and then just apply the template, and then it's all done. Okay. Back to that question Matthew was mentioning, can you actually do for Skillbox? Why not use Skillbox? I'll demonstrate this. So let's say I want to duplicate this as a dependent. Okay. And just leave that alone. What you can do with this is that you can edit this crop. I'm going to use the same crop. Select the boundary. Copy that. Okay, just close out of this. And then for this one, I'm going to go edit. All right. So I'm just going to get rid of this and then just paste the same thing. Just paste the current view. You notice that, okay, that's my box, and then that's it. Okay? Much easier, much simpler. You don't have to deal with a lot of this nonsense or Skillbox. For those who don't know about Skillbox, Skillbox is like a 3D objects. What it does is that if someone put too many of them, it looks like a spaghetti in your model. Okay? It becomes... Yes. And the other thing you could do with this is that you could also rotate this. Let's say, for example, you want to rotate this view. I would just say rotate 90 degrees. This is still pretty acceptable. Except that that's the wish list I want from Autodesk. Is that, yeah, you can rotate, but it doesn't do the crop with it, right? So that's the next wish list from Autodesk I want. If you rotate that thing will keep with it. Okay? So you can do that too. Okay? Just rotate it and then call it a day. Any questions so far with this? Yeah.
So when you make the other views dependent from the, for example, the confidence level, so sometimes because I think that they keep all the scales dependent to each other. For example, you cannot change it, but we want to, for example,
Mm-hmm.
on one sheet we want to show the whole level,
Mm-hmm.
and on other sheets we want to show units in different groups. What should we do? We should create get the
You would
duplicate the level as independent and apply.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, I would do that because
After doing all this.
yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, basically what you do is that this becomes your master, and then you just duplicate whatever you need from that particular objects. Okay, just keep it simple. All right, the next step I'm going to demonstrate is that how to create key plans. Okay, I know that in the past what a lot of users did is that they do detail lines, draw detail lines, and then just to demonstrate where that location. Waste of time. Okay, the reason why it's waste of time is that if your unit ever change, that detail line becomes useless. So what I want is that I want to show you guys how to do it properly. So what I typically do is that just duplicate this view. Okay. I'm just going to call this key plan, level 5. I'm going to put 0, 0 on it. Okay. First thing I want to do is that.
Did you save this as a dependent?
Duplicate it.
Duplicate it.
Okay, always duplicate it. Don't just say duplicate as dependent, because the source view, we want to leave it alone. We just want to duplicate whatever we need from it, just a starting point. Yeah, so they're independent. So the next thing I want to do is that I want to change this to, let's say, and then I'm going to call this key plan. Okay, demo. So what this does is that it basically goes to the top of your view, okay, key plan. Now, the next step you want to do is that you want to turn off everything inside your model except for the boundary lines. So the first thing you want to do is, you see that halftone? Click on Do Not Display. Now, what this does is that it will just turn off all the objects in your model, okay? And on the VV, the only thing you have to do is go to Annotation Category and just shut this off. Okay? Now what you're getting is that, look at it. It looks like a key plan. Okay? The next thing you want to do is that you go to VV, go to Area, and I'm just going to shut this off. And then for the rooms, I'm just going to turn it off, or just turn them off, because you don't need rooms. I would also turn off the site as well. Now, if you want to make this thing all black, you can always go to the line. Okay, just go to the line. Okay, and then you see that there's an area boundary right here. So this is where I'm going to say, I'm going to set this to black. And then I'm going to go make this solid, and then just make this thing, let's say 10. Okay, for good measure. When you hit apply, it looks like a key plan. Now, the next thing you want to do is that you want to highlight, let's say I want to highlight this area. So what you have to do is, you see that there's a color scheme. I'm going to go edit that. Click on that. First thing I'm going to do is that I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm going to call this 00 unit A. Okay, right there. The one thing you want to do is that you want to change this to unit type. Yes. Now, the next thing you want to do is that you want to say, all of this, don't show me. Don't show me all of this except for A. Don't show me anything except for A. And when you hit apply, you can change the color. I try to keep the color as consistent as possible. So what I typically do is that, there we go, just make it one of the color palettes. Let's say I'm going to use orange. This list, what it does is that it generates from your area objects. Okay, so there we go. So that's your unit A. Okay. Now the problem with this is that the key plan, you have to do it individually, because this color scheme, it's going to go with whatever that particular object is going to be. Let's say I'm going to do one for unit B. So this one I'm going to rename it unit A. Okay, and I'm just going to duplicate this. You could do, I wouldn't bother detailing, just duplicate it. And I'm going to call this unit B. Okay? Again, the same principle, just duplicate it. That's right. Yeah, just duplicate duplicate what you set up. And the only thing you're going to change is that just change it to unit B. And this is where you're going to say, okay, I'm going to make it the same color. Okay? Now, you will see that the color is going to change. There we go. Okay? This will update your plans relatively quickly. Any questions so far with this? No? Okay. So the next step you want to do is that after you finish this, you want to create like an area to show what is that area for that unit. So the first thing you want to go is that you go to View, you go to Schedule. Okay. First thing you want to do is that create a schedule, choose the area plan available. Okay. I'm going to go with this 00 Suite A. Okay. One thing you want to do is that you want to put area. You want to do level. You want to do unit type. And also you want to know how many beds are in there. I think this one I put a comment. Okay. So the area should always go to the bottom. Okay. Now what you can do now is that you can just go filter. Next thing you want to filter is that I want to filter unit type equals type A. Okay. Next thing you want to do is that you want to filter, since this appears multiple level, you want to say, I want to only appear, just calculate the level 5, the typical. What you can do is that go to level equals level 5. You could do all. Sometimes what happens is that you can combine the value. What happened at the end is that if the value from other level are not the same as the lower level, it'll just show blank. It won't show anything. So a lot of time I told user, just go with the typical level and just go from there. That's going to be your common area. Okay, so level 5, and then hit OK. What it does is that, there we go. So gives you a unit and gets you level 5. The next thing you want to do is that you want to shut this 2 off because you know that this is already Suite A, so I'm going to hide that. Okay. Now what you can do here is that you can actually say this is going to be the bed type. Oops, bed type. A lot of time what I do is that I would show this as metric unit as well. There's a way you can do it in the schedule. So what you can do is that for my area, I'm just going to make it towards the right. The nice thing about Revit is that you can actually repeat numbers. So I'm going to go calculate a value and call this area metric. And all you need is just specify an area, and the formula is going to be equal area. That's it. Okay? And the next thing you want to do is that you go to formatting, field formatting. You see that this one, I could say make it meters. Okay, rounding 2 places, and then go to right, and say, there we go. So every time this unit changed, this automatically will calculate that. Okay? And the other thing I would do is just turn this off, turn off the show title. And then what I typically do with this is that I call this metric an imperial. And I group this. So what you can do is select this 2 and group it and call it area. Okay. Now, if you want to be more specific, you can say align at center, align at center. And if you want to change the shading, then just go here, and there you go. Okay. Any questions so far? Pretty easy. All right. The next step you want to do is put them all together. Okay. Put them all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a sheet. Go to new sheet. Let's go line by 17. Blank title block. Let's say go blank title block. Okay. This one I'm going to call Suite Type A. A lot of time what we do is that for a marketing plan, they want like either 8.5 or line by 17. Line by 17 will help you. Okay. If you have like smaller sheet, the worse it gets. So the next thing you want to do is just drag all the stuff that you have created. Okay. Let's say I've created this unit 5. Not the whole thing. just want unit A. Yeah, it's going to process the whole plan. I'm just going to cancel that. Just give me unit A. Okay, that's a good plan. Okay, next thing you want to do is that for this unit, you want to change it to a different scale. Okay, let's say for example, this is unit, I'm going to go key plan, marking plan, or key plan, C plan. Oh, actually I forgot to mention that when you duplicate this view, create a view template. Let's say this is going to be suite A, level 5. I'm going to go with 0, 0. I always say that the marketing plan, make it as big as possible. Let's say 1 to 100. Say OK. And then when you drag and drop, at first it's going to be big. Yeah, it's going to be big. Next, what you can do is you can apply template, right? So what you can do is just click on this. Oops, where's my template? Close it down. Go to template and say suite level 5, and then hit apply. Now, there's a benefit of doing a template. There you go. That looks good. Now, if you want to make it bigger, all you have to do is just change this value, let's say 1 to 60 or 80 feet. There we go. And then what you're going to do is just say title only. Okay. What I typically do here is that I typically add the title on sheet and call this level 5. There we go. And what you can do is that you just move it up there. Okay. The next thing you want to do is that you want to put in your areas. So what I did here is from my schedule, I have 0 to suite A. There we go. And here, what I could do is that just make this thing slightly bigger. So make it 2. There we go. Now, if you want to repeat the next, then what you're going to get is that you're going to get a series of plans that looks like this. Okay, I'm just going to scroll all the way down. Marketing plan. There we go. Oh, where's my marketing? Right there. So what I have is that I have type B, type C, type D, et cetera, So a lot of times as I work on construction documentation, the area plan keeps updating. Okay, every time you add doors or whatever, this marketing plan keeps updating. There we go. You notice that I've done it for multiple levels. So what it does is that the client will just see, okay, they know what they're looking at. Okay, so very quick, very easy, and then you don't have to constantly updating your DWG files and your because every time you move a line, the area plan will update. Okay, this key plan updates, everything updates. Any questions so far?
It's quite often you need to show the flooring, what flooring.
Oh, okay. All right. So if you want to do flooring, what I think we do is build it correctly. You could do one unit. Let's say, for example, in this particular unit, I'm just going to go into civil suite type. Since the suites are are grouped, what you typically want to do is that, let's say if I want to show flooring in this, I just go roof. Okay. Here I'm just going to say bathroom tiles fine. So what you can do here is that you can just say from here to there, just model it correctly for tile purposes, and then say okay, no, okay, and then when I do that, it will show in your marking plan. So let's say your the other one. Oops. But if you want to get to that level of detail, yes, it can be done. Okay, there you go, it's done. And then also the other thing you could do is that you can also add in, let's say, material. Let's say if you want to do material, or this one's already turned off. What you could do is that for marketing plan, okay, let's see, shaded. Orientation. Color scheme. Yeah, I just use roof.
So if you use roof, then it's a model object.
It's a model object.
So
Yes.
better plan.
Yep, it will. Okay, that's the whole point. Because every time you put in a real thing, you can use that to calculate how much square footage you're going to have for your thing. So think of it as kind of like it's doing dual purposes. One is that showing what materials that's going to be. Second is that when someone wants to do estimation, they can actually take that area and then just do a takeoff. Okay, that one falls under model display. There you go. I'm going to shut this off, the model display. Okay, so if you want to do color, let's say you have like a proper color as well, you can always do shaded view, consistent color. Okay, this will give you kind of like a nice crochet kind of a look like that. So you can even go even further. If you want to add shadow, okay, my shadows got turned off, unfortunately. Maybe I should just, marketing plan, just turn them off so I can just show you what you can do with this. So does this look like very, very powerful? So you can actually do color scheme inside your Revit. You don't have to like do Photoshop. I know that a lot of time we use Photoshop. It's a waste of time because if your plan changes, you have to do the step again. It makes no sense. So try to avoid that. You can even do shadows too. So if let's say you want to do a shadow, just to show, okay, and then you can actually control the shadow. Oops. Yeah, you can turn them off. I'm going to turn them on. I'm going to basically just go into the shadow. You can even do silhouette. Silhouette, what it does is that it takes the floor and just make it thicker. Okay, you can do that. You can do shadow. Let's say the shadow is a bit too dense. So the lighting, you can make it like, let's say 20%. Okay, and then the shadow, I will make it 60. Okay, so that you don't get like really, really long shadow. And for this one, I'm just going to set it to level 5. Okay, hit apply. Okay, it's a bit too much. So let's say 15. There we go. Or even less, let's say 5. So it's up to you to control it. I mean, it's very, very intuitive, and then it's easy to control. Okay, if you don't show that relative view, yeah. Any questions so far?
Sorry. Well, then why you choose roof instead of floor?
Okay. Why do I use roof when okay, think about slab edges. Okay, when you do slab, the first thing you want to turn off is roof. Okay? If you have floors, you have to go in filters and filter every single object. Think of the work you have to do. Okay? When you do roof, I just say slab edges, turn off my roof. That's it. If you do floor, you have to kind of go one more step. Okay? That's the whole point of making a lot of this happen. Okay? Any question? And the other thing you have to understand about floor is that when you do floor thicknesses, it always goes down, whereas if it's a roof, it always goes up. So sometimes you want to see like 1/8 of an inch thickness protruding so that you get this nice tile kind of a thing. If you do floor, what it does is that it's overlapping another floor, and sometimes you get this color, very strange coloring, right? Because it's overlapping each other. So that's why I use roof, because it's much easier. And when you can turn off, it's very easy. Okay, very informative. I think that's it. And then, you know what? Maybe I should do more of this session. Oh, okay. All right. That concludes. If you don't have anything, just yeah. Okay. No, not this one. Sorry. Shoot. In the future, I'm probably going to do more series on this, like stair properly, like how do you do stairs properly inside Revit, and then core is it's a big topic.